What is it that you're feeling? Because your words don't matter. It's how you feel that is the way the universe is responding to you and the way you're responding to the universe. I know how I'm supposed to feel, but this is so in my face. When you wake up in the morning, do you have a long list of troubling things?
Biggest thing would be around money.
Do you believe that there's money in your vortex?
Yes.
If this thing that's sort of dogging you keeps showing up and just staying off the subject isn't happening because it's just too bumpy of a ride for you, and so you just keep being called back to it, then it's important to take the subject and diffuse it by focused and deliberate thought. Bridge your belief about it. Law of attraction is causing it to demand your attention. So then, in that case, you say, all right, law of attraction, since you have demanded my attention, I'm still going to find the best thought that I can find about this. I'm going to gradually, and with some maybe uncomfortable attention, I'm going to bridge this belief into something that feels better. Let's bridge beliefs about money. Start wherever you are. Just say what you feel about it, about money.
It doesn't matter what I do, I don't have enough money.
All right, so there it is. And it doesn't matter what I do, things don't change. So just sit with that for a minute and feel how awful that feels, really. That does not feel good. It's a really discouraging statement. And the reason that it feels discouraging is because there's so much contrast in what your inner being knows about that. But you are where you are, and that's all right. And your inner being holds no grudges. Your inner being isn't disappointed that you feel that way. But nevertheless, your inner being is going to continue to feel the optimistic way your inner being feels about it relative to you. So when you feel that way, you can feel the discord. So your interest here in bridging a belief, what your goal is to soften the negative emotion, to cause the negative emotion to be less strong. And now momentum is starting to take you toward closing that gap. You're going to feel better just with a little bit of attention to the subject. So it doesn't matter what I do, things don't change for me financially. And now we're just going to pile on a little bit. Doesn't matter what I do with action, doesn't matter what job I have, doesn't matter how many hours I work, and it apparently doesn't seem to matter how much Abraham crap I apply. Things just are not getting that much better. So there, it's said. It's all out there in the open. This is how I feel.
Except things are not getting so much better, things are getting worse.
The harder I try, the worse it gets.
There you go. There you go.
The harder I try, the worse it gets. So, good. Now let's start there, because your inner being inspired that thought just now. Such a good thought, because that's a thought that you can begin to pick up on. The harder I try, the worse it gets. There's something in the Abraham logic that speaks to that. Because when I'm trying with action to compensate for a vibration. I'm not really dealing with the vibration. I'm not really shifting the vibration. And the more attention I give to what I don't want, then the more it feels like I need to try. But there's logic in that, because law of attraction says the more attention I give toward what I don't want, then the more I am disallowing what I do want. It's too big of a jump for me to say, oh, it's going to be all right, because I've already worked myself into a place where I've kind of proven to myself that it's not really getting that much better. In fact, it's getting a little bit worse. However, when you're in a negative place, the however can only help, yes? However, I do have evidence in my own life about the effect of law of attraction in my experience. And I do accept that I am mostly vibrational. And I do believe, or at least I want to believe, that I have an inner being who's calling me. And I do believe that it can get better. I just haven't seen the evidence or the trail of when that's going to actually happen. I get the theory of law of attraction. I've just got, apparently, a strong enough momentum that I haven't figured out how to get on the other side of that. I'm looking forward to the relief of not working against myself. I'm quite proud of my physical capabilities. I might be doing what so many people are doing, not being quite able yet to tend to it energetically. And I'm jumping into the action part and trying to tend to it. But action, which I'm using to try to compensate for energy that I didn't work out well, is counterproductive. Now, there's a piece of something that we would like all of you to hear. You're going to feel strong understanding and resonance wash through you. This is going to click into place for you. So let's start with the subject. How do thoughts actually turn to things? How does my desire for money actually turn into tangible assets and currency that I can exchange from things? How does that vibrational currency actually turn into the spendable kind? How does that happen? So this is how it happens. So through life, through experiences just like what you're feeling now, you've put a veritable fortune in your vortex vibrationally. It's astonishing how much is there. That's part of the reason that you're feeling so much frustration. It's because the larger part of you knows it and the human part of you doesn't. And so the stronger you feel about something, the more the vortex has to offer you. So here's this fortune that is there, ready for your receipt. Let's say that you are able to get distracted from it. We're just pretending for a moment. You are able to get distracted, that there are a lot of other things that are really pleasing to you that have your attention. Or let's say you went on a 2-week paid vacation that someone else paid for, so just for a little while you weren't giving any thought to any of the things that you're worried about. So you're sort of more in a neutral zone than you've been for a while. So ideas begin to come from this vortex, and they bubble up, and you almost receive them, and they bubble up, and you almost receive them, and they bubble up, and you almost receive them, and they bubble up, and you almost receive them. And then one day, after a particularly good morning, walking on the beach and having a wonderful time with someone, they bubble up and you get it. You get the idea. The vibration turns to a thought in your mind that sparks you in a new way, and you feel a little elation or a little expectation. You feel just a little enthusiasm about something. You feel renewed for just a moment. And let's say that that feeling feels so good, and because of the conditions of where you are, you keep focusing positively, because after all, you don't need to go home yet and face the music about anything. So you're just riding that wave, and as you ride that wave, you enter into what we're calling a sweet spot, where ideas just begin to flow to you, and they feel so good. For the first time in a long time about this subject, you feel energized and expectant. The black cloud is lifted off of you, and you feel not just hopeful, but pretty sure that things are opening up for you. You've tasted for a long enough period of time, we're talking about a minute or 2 or 3 or 4, you've tasted for a little bit of time the feeling of connection, and for that period of time, you know about yourself and your prosperity, what your inner being knows, and you have moved enormously vibrationally. Now, the leverage of that is bigger than we can even describe. Because now, just with that little bit of alignment, you've set yourself up to the receptive mode of one good idea after another. And when you get on the right track, things unfold very rapidly for you, and they become tangible and satisfying in that whole new way. So you got that? Could you feel that? So now, instead of it going that way, so here's all this wonderful stuff gestating over there in your vortex, all of that prosperity, all of that potential, all of those wonderful things that are there to surprise and delight you. But you can't quite get there because you're facing reality, and you've got stuff going on, and you're not on vacation, you're facing reality, and so you're not moving vibrationally. But it is. It's moving. It's bubbling. It's getting ready for you to be ready for it, but you're not. And it's getting ready for you to be ready for it, but you're not. But you hear the call, but you can't follow the call because you're not on the vibrational wavelength. But it makes you feel like you need to do something. So instead of doing this, where your thoughts are turning to things where it's inspired and helpful and you have all that leverage, instead, you do what most people do. You jump right into the action. You don't do the vibrational work. You jump right into the action. Talk to more people about it. You don't do the vibrational work. Instead, you do the action work, which makes it get worse. You follow? The only work to do is the vibrational work. And your employers are not going to want to hear that from you. I'm sorry, I can't come to work today. I need to cheer up. I just need to cheer up. I just need to get feeling better about my life. And when I come to work, it's hard because what's there sucks. And so I'm not going to come in for a few days till I get feeling better about things. And so that doesn't feel practical to you. And if you jumped into that action, you'd probably get fired if that was the action you took. And so you've got to find some way to do the work without the action. You've got to find some way to move your emotion without the action, and let the action then just move through you and from you. So it's not calculated as action. So what did we just say? If you do the vibrational work, the action will all be inspired. It will be inspired. Inspired action. Inspired action. That's what you want. The alignment, the power of feeling better, the power of relief. Every time you talk yourself into a little bit of relief, you're doing the vibrational work. Every time you push forward without the relief, you're not doing the work. Every decision you make that doesn't include a big feeling of relief in it is a decision that will work against you. Every action you take that doesn't include a lot of relief in it, which is indication of releasing the resistance, is going to backfire. It would be like deciding that you're going to toast some bread for breakfast, and you put the bread in, but you don't plug the toaster in. So the bread just sits there, and you wait and wait and wait and wait, and the bread never gets toasted because it's not plugged in. And that's what happens when you take action before you're plugged in. You just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And so you just got to find some way of feeling better. So we're going to do this fast. Do you believe that law of attraction is a real thing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that your vortex exists?
Yes.
Do you accept that there is more potential there than you have realized?
Yes.
Do you think it's going to be fun as you begin witnessing the unfolding of that potential?
Yes.
Does it all need to come at once?
No.
Would any evidence of it feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Can it feel good for a little while even without the evidence of it?
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like it's a sure thing eventually?
I'm hesitating. I want to say yes.
Do you believe in law of attraction?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that you have a vortex?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that there's a vibrational version?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that in your vibrational version there's prosperity?
Yes.
Do you believe that prosperity can unfold in your experience, is unfolding in your experience? Do you believe that your inner being is working on your prosperity whether you're ready for it or not?
Yes.
Do you believe that you can get ready for it?
Yes.
Do you believe that sometimes you are more ready than others?
Yes.
Do you believe that you could be ready more of the time knowing what you now know?
Yes.
Do you believe that there is any advantage arguing for your limitations?
No.
Do you believe that there is advantage arguing for your connection to your vortex?
Yes.
Do you believe in law of attraction?
Yes.
Do you believe that law of attraction manages the energies of the universe?
Yes.
Do you believe that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not?
Yes.
Do you believe that you have the power to focus?
Yes.
Do you have the power to focus upon what you want?
Yes.
Do you sometimes, without meaning to, focus on what you don't want?
Yes.
Does your emotion show you which you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the ability, if you catch it in the early stages, to stop the momentum of that? The topic that's bothering you, we want it to be irrelevant to you. But every time it shows up, you've got to say, I'm not ready for you now. I'm still mad at you. I'm not ready to think about you now. I'm still mad at you. I'd rather think about this. I'd rather think about that. Do you have the ability to focus more upon what you do want?
Yes.
Are there aspects of your life that feel so good that they're easy to focus upon?
Yes.
Is it pretty easy for you to make a list of positive aspects that do not include the subject of money?
Yes.
When you focus upon any positive aspect, does that give you access to your vortex? When you focus upon any positive aspect and really feel it, does it connect you? Does it give you access to your vortex?
Yes.
So when you find something to focus on and you feel good, you've plugged your toaster in. Mm-hmm. And now you can put a waffle in it, you can put a Pop-Tart in it, you can put a piece of bread in it. Once you're hooked up, then everything that's in it will start being realized by you. So do you believe that law of attraction is a real thing?
Yes.
Do you believe that you have a vortex?
Yes.
Do you believe that there are wonderful financial, beneficial things in your vortex that are ready to pop for you?
Yes.
Do you believe that you can sometimes be in a place of receiving them?
Yes.
Do you think you'd know it when you do?
Yes.
Do you believe that you have the ability to be a deliberate creator?
Yes.
Has this conversation sort of put you in a mindset that makes you understand that not only you can be, but that you often are?
Yes.
Are you bothered by the fact that there are some bugaboos that have momentum? Does it really matter that there's a subject like dollars, even though it touches you in lots of ways? Does it matter that there's some rough spots in that? Is there any advantage to having negative thought about money?
Yes.
Fills up the vortex. Mm-hmm. My negative feeling about money has made me a very rich man. And the discord that I feel is because I'm, for some unrealistic reason, holding myself apart from it by thinking that I have to unravel every thought I've ever had about money when I don't. All I have to do is think about anything that gives me access to the vortex, and the ideas about money and everything else will start coming into my experience. That's the way it is.